would like to introduce my guest for this week, the wonderful Julie. Is it Jules? Julie, what do you like?
I have both. Jules,
Okay,
Julie,
Jules, Jules. So Julie Brown will give you your proper Sunday best. She's a mum of 2 girls. Are you NLP? That's one of your qualifications, isn't it?
yes, I am an NLP master practitioner and trainer.
Yes, I got that somewhere. Literally, there is so much that this woman has done. I know I'm going to miss so much of it, but I'm going to keep going. So, master practitioner and trainer of NLP. She's a co-author of 2 books, and then I've put in brackets, or is it more? Because I'm not even sure whether there's more of them out there. She's a co-founder of the My Mental Health Rocks, which is a non-profit organisation to run a campaign to try and get a workshop in every school in the UK and across Canada promoting well-being, resilience and raising awareness of our innate mental health. And more recently, you've launched Fly, which is First Love Yourself. And I'm sure there's so much in between that I haven't even touched on. But we met quite a long time ago because I attended your training that you did for My Mental Health Rocks, which was amazing. But I think prior to that, it was the Spark initiative that I first came across you. Yeah. So tell me who you are and how you got to where you are today.
Right. Well, I'm quite old, so I've had lots of time to do things. That's what I say to people, because I've done a lot, but I'm quite old, so I've had plenty of time to fit it all in. I first started off with the understanding that you share that we talk about I'm guessing in these podcasts.
Yeah.
In around about 2014, and that was when Brooke from the Spark Initiative in America posted that she's been creating this program and she wanted to put it out there, and I was like, I'm in. I bought it before she'd even
don't know what it is, but I'm in.
I'm in, and it just when your heart sings.
Yeah, I was the same with when you were doing your thing. I've got to do it. Whatever, I'm just doing it.
That's it. You just know it's right, don't you?
Yeah.
So I joined the Spark, and I did all of their training, and I trained up to. I've got this thing about training the trainer level and things.
I'm obsessed with it.
It's just like, you're going to do something, you go to the top with it. I don't know why.
I'm with you 100%.
So I am one of only 2 UK certificated trainers even.
Whatever. You can do it. You're the big. You're the one. Yeah.
And the Spark to this day is absolutely drop dead amazing. The work that they've done is fantastic, and I've recently just created a parenting program with them, and we've done that, so I'm still working closely with Spark.
Brilliant.
However, the struggles I had with Spark was getting it into schools, right? Because it's not easy getting behind the front door. So I met Leanne, and Leanne had the similar problems, and I was like, we both come up with this idea of let's get a free workshop in every school. If it's free, they haven't got the money object, right? They haven't got the money. The money's, can't afford that. They haven't got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just Leanne and I put together. We just work well together. You've been on the training with us. We just
bounce off each other. Yeah.
just bounce off each other. Yeah. And we created this, and we had this idea, and it just took on a life of its own, right? We advertised it on Facebook that we needed ambassadors to go in and train it, that we needed facilitators to go in and train it, and that's when you joined us.
Yeah.
And we charged a really nominal fee for the training. It was like 99 quid or something daft like that for the tree. Yeah. And we then put that the money that we were paid, we paid you back to go deliver the workshops.
Yeah.
That's
how it was non-profit. You didn't make anything.
But it was about, we got into schools and we started seeing the results, and it just grew and grew and grew. We were on ITV, we were on BBC, we were just on radios. It just flew really, really well, and then we had lockdown.
Yeah. I was just about to say, and the reason why it flew really, really well was 1, because there's a need for it, and 2, because it was an amazing program. You got the kids on board, the schools, the teachers, the parents, everybody. It was amazing.
We had a school that we used as a demo school who are amazing. They didn't have to let us do it. We had pretty much had free reading at the school. We changed their PHSE policy and all sorts with them. And one thing schools don't tend to like, which is understandable, is Ofsted coming in.
Yeah.
Now we had the newspapers coming to film a workshop. ITV were coming to film a workshop, and I was like, "Do you want to invite Ofsted?"
No. Hit them where it hurts. Get them in while we're filming with ITV.
Yeah, we're going to do it. Like I say, if we're going to go to the level, let's go to the top.
Yeah.
And the head was that. He was like, "Yeah, let's do it."
Oh, that's brilliant. It's brilliant that they were on board.
That's how much they were on board and how much of a change they'd seen in the school with this program.
Yeah.
So anyway, Ofsted came, and I've done absolutely loads. I've taught hypnotherapy and NLP for years. I have created various programs myself to work with people, because my ethos has always been, you can't ever be broken. No. Nobody can be broken. You can't break a person, no. Right? And there are so many people, and I've looked at your stuff as well, and this is why I resonate with you so much, because you're just like me. We don't want to be wanting to take people's eyes out that need a bit of a guidance, that need a little bit of a hand holding, that just need a bit of support.
Yeah.
Till they get back on them, because we've all been there at one time or another.
Of course we have. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. We're all human. Happens to us all, and we all got to get through it the best way that we can.
Feel free to swear. I'm yeah.
Cool.
I'm an F-bomb kind of girl.
Simple as that. It happens, and there's not one person that doesn't get affected by something at one time in their life.
Life throws us a curveball. We're just on track. Everything's going swimmingly, and then, like COVID, for instance.
Yeah.
We have no control over things.
But we do have control over how we interact with it.
100%. That's what I say. Yeah. The only thing that we have control is how we respond and react to whatever life throws at us. Yeah.
So we immediately pivoted and took the My Mental Health Rocks online. We had a local ambassadors that we basically gave them, and this is what we couldn't do with the Spark program, because that wasn't my program.
Yes.
It wasn't Leanne's program.
Yeah.
We gave the all of the ambassadors and the facilitators free rein to do with what they wanted with it. And
which, can I just say, is unheard of and amazing. Exactly like what you said about the Spark program. It's fantastic.
We've all got the same amount of wisdom, as long as the ethos of the message that wanting to be delivered is passionate and the same, and the people that we've worked with had that message, then so what if they don't share it exactly the same way, as long as the same message is across?
Yeah. And that's the beauty of it is that children get the understanding that we don't run out of resilience or wisdom or creativity or our ability to calm. We're not born with a certain amount that we use up, and I think as adults we can connect with that. We can rekindle. I talk so much with clients about, we had that ability when we were younger. We don't lose it, we just don't connect to it as much as we get older. We just need to reset to go back. I know you've got a grandson, and he's older than mine, but Alfie's coming up to 3 now, and I learn so much from him on a daily basis. He's just gung-ho. He doesn't do the what ifs. He dislocated his arm a few weeks back and had to go to hospital so that they put it back. And he came out and he was wanting straight back on the monkey bars. He wasn't worried about what if it happens again, what if I thought. He just did it. And I try to tell people we can still do that. We have that in us. Yeah.
And yeah, I completely agree. And I love it because, imagine, and there's something I often say to parents and kids, just imagine if, because I'll say to them, how old do you think you've got to be when you get wisdom? Or how old do you think you've got to be before you can be resilient? And I love asking that question.
Yeah. And
then I'll just go, could you imagine when you were a baby that the first time you started a walk and you fell down and you thought, oh, this walking's not for me.
Yeah, I'm not doing that again. I'm just going to
bottom
shuffle.
And you bum shuffle through when you're 20.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, you don't
I
have
just
to
love the
be.
whole ethos around it, that you know, you refer to superpowers, which kids connect with so easily. We all have that superpower. Yeah.
And for our teens, we refer to them as systems
Yeah.
instead of superpowers, because it's obviously, you know, you don't really want like a disengaged teenager, 15-year-old trying to tell him he's got a superpower. He's just going to
I
tell you
have a
the sod off, quite
disengaged
frankly.
16-year-old in the house all the time. So yeah, I get that.
So, you know, it's speaking their language, isn't it? And
Yeah.
you know, so we've done that, and Leanne's doing different things. I'm doing things with James for anxiety and well-being. I'm doing things with NLP with Satu. I had an idea before Christmas, and you know,
Another one.
I just run with it. That's what it is. I was like, oh, wouldn't it be a good idea to, if this is an insight into how my brain ticks or doesn't just races actually. It's like, wouldn't it be a good idea if I started like a year 2 project and people could just join and just take the time and do whatever they want to achieve in a year and have some year's support. I was like, and I just wrote this post out, and already we're in February and people have been offered to write books. They've been asked to be coaches and been put through training. They've started their own YouTube channels, and it's just like people have already got it all in them. Everything that they need, that they think they need, they've already got. It's just somebody to say, you've got it.
Yeah, that's amazing for you to see people flourishing and just doing, do you know what I mean, what they want to do. And you've instigated that. You've given them, you know, or allowed them the space to actually come up with random ideas and just run with them. We all need a Jules. We all need a Jules in our life. That's all I can say.
You've all got it. Everything, like, you've all got it yourselves. Yeah. The only thing that tells you haven't is this little voice in your head that says, I can't do that. But you know what? When you've taken a step towards it, that voice can't say that no more. It might say, well, you can't do this instead. Take another bloody step.
Yeah.
Because
so that's something that I haven't touched on. Tell me a bit more about that. A year 2. So literally people join up and pick something that they want to do, and they just have a year with your support to bring that to fruition.
Yeah, I got 3 other coaches on board with me, and I was like, how do you fancy doing this? And
that's amazing.
Each one's got a day. And so like one shares it on it one day. I choose Tuesdays and I have a couple of days off so they're not too overwhelmed. And it's just ideas. It's just support. It's just
I like that. You know, we have a couple of days off so they're not too overwhelmed. It's not that you get overwhelmed. You're still going. You're firing on all cylinders.
Do you know what? Even I've been blown away by how much content we've put in there already. We've had to actually stop it and just say, wait, the last week of the month we're not putting anything else in so you can catch up, because we're just like all that. Because it's got a lovely atmosphere. People are supporting each other, and the whole ethos is no mountain was climbed in one step.
Yeah.
Right now, you've probably seen the metaphor where there's like 1 million steps for a ladder, and then the huge one, and the bloke with the huge steps looking up, thinking, how do I get up there?
Yeah.
And the bloke with the millions of steps is at the top, and that's it. It doesn't matter what you want to do. If you want to achieve something, if the step looks too big, make it smaller.
Yeah.
If that step looks too big, make that one smaller. It doesn't matter how small the step is. It might be going live for a minute on Facebook and then deleting the video. It's a step in the right direction.
Yeah. And we've all done that. Well, maybe you haven't, but I did. When I look back over the things that I did 2 years ago, it's like, oh, my life. Yeah.
But it's amazing to see how far you come, though, isn't it? When you look back and think, God, I mean, my latest thing's TikTok, right? I'm giving that a go.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. If I do anything, it'll be Instagram Reels. I'm not even going on the TikTok.
Oh, I don't do Instagram. I'm not on Instagram. I don't do Instagram. But I thought my daughter does TikToks all, but you know, teenage. You know what the kids are like. So I was just like, oh, I think I'll get embarrassed and give it a go.
I was just going to say, I bet she loves seeing her mum on there.
I did 1 minute, one video, and I put it on last week. And then I did like a minute video this morning and put it on. And that I never even looked at it. And she come down and she went, "Oh, you've got 25 likes." I went, "Have I got that?" Nobody's seen it.
You pop up everywhere, literally. People are going everywhere. Where is she now? What is she doing?
I have no idea. But you know what? It's the fact that I don't have investment on it. I don't have, it has to look this way, because all that does is restricts us.
Yeah, yeah.
Have 100%. A sense of humor. Laugh when you go tits up, because we always do.
Yeah.
And pick yourself up and get on with it. That's it.
It is. It's wonderful. It's so freeing as well. You know, when I often talk about getting out of our own way, the only rules that we've got are the ones that we put in play, unless we're breaking, you know, Boris's rules or the, you know, the nation's rules. But pretty much it's the ones in our head. It's our beliefs that, you know, the imposter syndrome and all those sorts of things, fear of success. And, you know, talking personally for me, that is my stumbling block. I have a real fear of being successful, which is ridiculous.
Oh, you're gonna have some more chats.
Why would I do that? Why would I stop myself from achieving the things that I want to achieve?
But it makes perfect sense to me.
It makes perfect sense to me when I'm talking about somebody else, but then I do the same thing.
Because you've got no emotion attached.
Yeah.
To the other person.
Yeah. It's all about that investment. And
you know how to do you now.
Yeah.
So, you know, we can look at it from so many different points of view. We can look at it from throughout the ages. If a woman stood up, stepped out and made a thing of herself, she would be burned at the stake for being a witch.
Good point. Good point.
So, you know, we come from a line of people who played it small because it was safe to do that.
Yeah.
So it's understandable that we've got that sort of thinking, and being successful. Not only have we got, well, what will life look like? Then it's like, oh shit, then the expectations come. What have I got to do next? Yeah. What if I can't keep it up? What if I can't sustain it?
Yeah.
And it's all just the same amount of bollocks. Sorry, you're getting the vein me now. It's all just the same amount.
I love it. Get on your soapbox and sort me out. It is. I know I procrastinate. I've got a be perfect driver. That causes me to question everything, and I'm getting better. I am getting better at just winging it. Do you know Sarah, who I used to work with?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. We used to have nicknames for each other. She used to call me I used to call her Wing It Wonder, and I was Anal Annie, because literally I had to have everything organised and written out and printed out and booklets and...
Okay, so I got a question for you.
What?
How many times when you had everything printed out and done lovely, did you go off script and do other things when you were actually in the middle of flow and when you were in flow and doing it?
Yeah, they never came out the bag. It was just my safety network. I felt safe if I had all this stuff laid out everywhere, and I never even got it out of my bag half the time. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's hilarious. If ever we went away on training together, she'd just have a plastic bag, usually with a glass of wine or a bottle of wine and a glass. And I'd have this massive suitcase with everything apart from the kitchen sink in it. It's just my thing, but I'm getting better.
I just spent 3 hours doing it. I had an idea.
Oh, another one. She's off.
Oh, it's
I want to get into Jules' mind.
Honestly, I don't even look at what goes on in my mind. I just deal with the one thing that's in front of me at the time, right? So, somebody that I've worked with for years was struggling a little bit. I was like, let's create this program and let's do this instead. So we've just done like 3 hours worth of recording for something that, for his niche, not really mine, but it's hypnotherapy. So I knew what I was doing with it. Yeah. And when you are talking about the differences, he's writing notes and he's like, and he's doing the questions and he's just like, and I'm just like, and I'm just totally winging it. And that's just how I am. And some people I will repel, literally.
Yeah.
Some people will say, oh my God, does she never shut up? Does she never talk slow enough for me to understand her? Does she never pause for breath? Right? And they're not for me, and that's okay. Yeah. But the people that come and get caught up with my enthusiasm, the people that come along for the ride, trust us, they have a hell of a ride.
Yeah, I can believe it. Yeah. I must admit, I'm kind of a bit like Marmite. I always say that you either love me or you hate me, and either way, it's not my responsibility. I want to work with people that get me, that understand. I do drop the F-bomb. I can remember when I qualified as a psychotherapist, I kind of took on this persona of a professional person with a suit and, sat properly in my chair. And it didn't last long before I thought, this isn't me. I need to be authentic.
Somebody else.
Yeah. I'm a jeans and t-shirt girl. I wear trainers. And, if people want something else, then I'm not for them.
And that's it. Trying to be all things to all people just means you're not really anything to anybody.
Yeah. 100%. I love your outlook on life. I really do. I'm so pleased we're having this conversation. It's like I've been watching from afar. I know I've been on your training and I've seen you in action and everything, but even that, the way that my head works a lot of the time is kind of like, yeah, but you're the teacher and I'm not. And it kind of puts me in that I'm not okay position. So to having a conversation with you like this has been eye-opening. I've loved it. Literally.
Good fun.
So you've got so many things in the pipeline. How the first love yourself, was that just a one-off or is that a continuous?
The first love myself is I'm busy creating, and I've got a huge program that I'm creating for this. I've been doing it since last year, and I'm going to be doing what I always do, and that's overgive, because I've got that. I want to make. I would hate for somebody to think, oh, is that all there is?
I doubt that very much.
I know, but you've got your little thing. That's one of mine, and I know it is.
Yeah.
But I'll do it. So the first love yourself is the program that I've created, and it's pretty much for women who outwardly look confident, outwardly, seem like they've got it all, but inwardly, really, they've just got this imposter syndrome, this nagging little chat. That's, that, and it's to let them say the life scripts that they have unconsciously brought up.
Yeah.
Basically call out bollocks to them and have conversations and work through them, and it's like a year-long program, but it's going to be released every quarter. So the premise is you start at week 1, go through to week 12, then start at week 1 again from your new place.
Wow, that's unique.
Because where you are at week 12 won't be where you were the first time you started at week 1.
Yeah.
But where you are the next week 1, there's always still more to see.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a year-long program, so we can go through it. You can go through it the 4 times if you want, or you just stay in like the Zoom calls and the meetings in the group. So the first love yourself lives were like, oh, that sounds like a good thing. I'll give that a go. And then I put on my Facebook, what would you like to see next? And somebody said parenting. I was like, okay. So then I asked you if you would be one of my parenting ones.
Yeah, I'm up for that.
So now next week we're doing the Fly First Love Yourself Parenting Edition series, and having a week off. And then the week after that, I am creating a men's one, which I'm not really specifically targeting or working with men, but I do work with some. But some of the conversations I've had, I think it would be useful for women to see how men actually feel about those topics.
Yeah.
So that
I would imagine that would be really interesting. I go through phases. Sometimes I don't have any men at all, and then within 6 weeks, literally, I've got an influx of them. It's a bit random how it works. Yeah.
A bit like life.
Well, yeah, and the other thing, you touched on it earlier on about what the universe throws at us. I don't know whether you have this, but if I'm going through something personally in my life, I get so many clients with similar things or the same thing coming at me, and it's like, why is that? Is it just that I'm noticing it, or is literally the universe throwing all this stuff at me? It amazes me.
Just this morning when I was drying my hair, I was laughing because the past 2 weeks, all of my clients, and you're probably not going to believe this, but it's true, all of my clients have been me telling them to stop procrastinating and take some action. And I know that's the message that I've needed to hear myself.
Well, yeah, I don't believe that for a minute, because I don't think procrastination
because
is something that you do.
it is because I still got my limitations, things that I think to myself, oh, I can't be doing that, or who wants to listen to what I've got to say? We're all human, we all
Yeah.
have it.
Yeah.
And so they say that our ideal clients are the people that who are where we've been,
Yeah.
right? Because we've been there, we've had the t-shirt, we know the shit, right? So and I still am sometimes, because we're human and that's how we work.
Yeah, I think
But
that's the thing. I've got a membership club with, a select few people in there. It's not that big, and it's really nice, but I can be 100% me, and I keep telling them I get as much from you as what you're getting from. This is a mutual, even playing field when we're in here, because I'm human. I get down. I talk about being on an escalator and my state of mind fluctuating on a moment to moment basis. And sometimes I want to just shut the door and say goodbye to the world, not literally,
walk away from
not
the world,
majorly,
I
but
describe it.
I just want to be on my own. But being part of that group, I share that with them. And it kind of normalizes that, yeah, we all have crap going on. Just because I'm qualified doesn't mean it doesn't hit me.
Exactly. And we can all look at somebody else and think they've got it sorted.
Yeah.
Right? But you know what? We're all going through the same shit still.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. 100%.
You can look at me and go, God, I wish I was like Julie.
Yeah.
But Julie still has paid thousands of pounds worth of programs that she hasn't started doing yet because she's a bit frightened of doing them. Right? So
I do that. I'm obsessed. I'm addicted to trading. And if something tweaks my interest, I'm like, oh, there's a shiny thing over there. I'll go and look at that.
Ditto.
Yeah. But I quite like being able to share that part of me. I'm not as protective as what I used to be. I used to think, because I was a qualified nursery nurse. That was the first job that I did. I used to work in schools and everything. So, and I was a foster carer for 12 years. So the parenting side of things has always been part of my life. But then I really struggled with, do I share that I've got a 16-year-old that does my head in? Am I supposed to be that authentic with people? Yes, I do now. But there was a point where I was tipping on the edge, whether I can
will
share.
They think of me? How can I be the expert if I can't handle my own child?
100%.
My own feelings around it.
Yeah. And it's the same with life. Exactly. Like we were saying, I struggle. Life throws me a curveball. I'm a single parent. I've been through a divorce quite recently. And it triggered all my stuff.
Yeah.
But that's because I'm human. The only difference between me and a lot of the people I see is that I might be one step ahead.
Yeah.
And I know that it will pass. If I get in a funk, I know that I'll come out the other side of it. So it doesn't worry me that I go to that funky place, if that makes sense.
Not the same, because you know that the light's going to shine and it's going to, yeah.
100%. That is the only difference. And that's the bit, if I could bottle it, that I would give to everybody. Just feel the feels, because they don't stay for that long. The more we try to not be anxious, the more we try to not feel whatever it is that's going on, the longer it stays.
Yeah. Chemically as well, chemically, it's hilarious. So we're human, right? And if we can laugh at the ridiculousness of us,
yeah,
right, because we all are.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you another thing. Leanne has been, like you say, I'm an author. I've wrote a couple of chapters in some books, but I don't consider myself a very good writer, right? I can talk legs off a donkey, right? As you can see. But writing down, I don't see that as being one of my strengths. And now I was just like, we need this chapter. And straight away I had the look how good everybody else is. And then what the hell have I said yes for, right? And I put it off literally for about 2 months. Right? And then this one day I was just like, Julie, get over yourself, you daft cow, crack on with it, right? And that's how I speak to myself. I picked up Otter, and instead of writing it down, I spoke what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
And there, because there's always a way, right? If we get out of our own way, we can see the way.
Yeah.
And
I did exactly the same thing. Sari wrote a book and she asked me to write a chapter in it. And it was all about her personal story. And then she said to me, will you do a chapter on the 3 principles? And I was like, yeah, of course I will. And then as I was thinking, I'm like, why has she got me to do that? That's like so big, and she wants me to do it. But I did exactly the same thing. I put it off and I was researching and reading and
forgetting everything that you knew and thinking you didn't know enough.
Yeah, and putting everybody else's words in it instead of me just using my own words and my own wisdom. And then I thought, yeah, sod this. And literally, I wrote the whole chapter in probably one Saturday afternoon and just sent it to her and said, that's it, done.
Yeah. I wandered around this office with my phone on Otter, and I just spoke it all out, and I emailed it myself, left it for a couple of days, looked at the email, edited the email, so read properly and sent it, and that was it. I thought, well, you know what? It is what it is.
Yeah.
It's done.
See, I need to do that. I've got half a book written that I started 12 months ago, and I can't pick it up. But I've got this thing in my head that once it's out there and it's in a book, I'm going to evolve. And the way that I look at things, exactly like you're doing with your program, go back to week 1. In 12 months' time, whatever I've written in that book, I probably won't feel that way or think that way. It will be completely different. And all the books that I've got on my shelf, I often think, if those authors read those books now, would they still feel the same way? I'm not the same person that I was this time last year or the year before. I've evolved. Yeah.
But like you said, you're writing the book for the person that's a step behind.
Yeah, true.
So there's still value in writing the book. It's still going to be helping people who are maybe 2 steps behind.
See, you've got lots of little words of wisdom. I just wish I could get in your head. Literally, I really enjoyed this conversation. I'm so pleased that we've got together and done it.
Hasn't it? Thank you very much.
It's been, our paths have crossed in so many ways, and it's like, yes, no, we've gone off and done things and then come back together. And so it's really nice to pin you down, because I know pinning you down is quite difficult because you're off, you're doing something.
I just get ideas and I run with it.
Yeah.
And afterwards, I think, what the hell did you do that for? I mean, I've got more than 2 books out there. I created some kids' books, and I look back at them now and think they're crap.
I'm sure they're not. Like you said, for people that are watching, that'd be brilliant.
Oh, I mean, crap as in spelling mistakes and all sorts of ridiculous.
You know, so many people do that. You read through it, you get people to read through it, and then you get it on print, and it's like, oh my God, look at that spelling mistake. Yeah.
That's why I just took it back up. I was like, oh, can't do that. And I've never actually got back around to doing it because I've just been too busy. And it was obviously just meant to be.
Yeah. And that's the other thing, that it's really good to have that attitude that if it's meant to be, it will come to fruition. I used to struggle with that. I'm a very logical person. I like structure, and I like handouts, and I like lots of information. And, you know, the 3 principles that we both use, it's not that. It's insight, it's wisdom, it's innate well-being. It's all what I used to refer to as airy-fairy stuff that you can't pin down. And I really struggled with that for a long time.
Right. Isn't it interesting that your brain told you you really struggled with it? Well, actually, you felt it every step of the way.
100%. Yeah. And I can look back on that now, but it was like, it is just the way that I work. When I was doing my training, I can remember the bloke who trained me, a wonderful Bob Cook in Manchester, saying that therapy is a process, not an event. And I used to say to him, just tell me what I need to do and I'll do it. I don't want to do this process stuff. And it's like, well, no, that is the whole point. It is the process. It is the journey. That's where we get the insights from. Yeah, because what he would be telling me to do probably wouldn't be what felt right for me or what fitted into my world or anything.
But yeah, we've got to find our own way, and that's the really cool thing, is that we are all so varied and different.
Yeah.
And so there's somebody for everybody, and there's everybody for somebody.
Yeah, I do love my job. I love interacting with people, and you know, the uniqueness of us. And in my membership, you know, one person will say something. We talk about anxiety in such a random way. You know, I talk about befriending it, and it's like that friend that you have at school that wasn't really in the in crowd, but they just wanted to be with you all the time. And somebody else spoke about it, because I said, you know, put your anxiety on a chair, give it a shape, give it a form, give it something that you can see it. And somebody decided it was a black cat called Eric. And it's like, I can't believe the random conversations that we have in that group that resonates with people.
I called anxiety the iron board burglar last night.
See, people think I'm strange when I say what conversations we have.
I was just like, have you ever went into the kitchen and you've thought you've seen something, you're getting that fright?
Yeah.
Had that physical feeling of anxiety come through your body.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you just say that, actually it was just the ironing board, right? You don't have to do anything to not be worried or frightened about it anymore. So then when the feelings, when we're talking about the conversation, like, you've just got the ironing board burglar back again. That's all it is. It's just like,
but it's such a random thing, but it works. You know, I talk about just put it in the cupboard. You know, if you've got to go out to work, just put it in the cupboard and you can pick it up when you come home. But it doesn't need to be with you all the time. So I've got people saying to me, I put my anxiety in the cupboard and I've not picked it up for 3 days. Anybody else would think, what is she talking about? But if
and who cares? That person's got something that they're back into living their life.
That's it, yeah. And they pick it up and put it down. It's so, I just love the way that our mind works and connects dots up.
It's great.
What means something?
We could talk for hours, quite frankly, about this.
Yeah, we could. Right. I'm going to draw a line under it. I can't thank you enough for having this conversation. It's absolutely brilliant.
I'm looking forward to our conversation next week when you're on the hot seat.
Well, it could go anywhere.
That's perfect.
Love it. Okay, no, I shall speak to you very soon. Take care.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.